Episode 9, Sabak with the Misfits. You know the routine. We're going to get everybody in here. We'll start chatting. Right. Let's see if we can get this going.
What's up?
Ah, look at that. Super quick.
Draw.
Let's see. Let's get golden.
What's going up? Car stick time. Stick time. Need to get my eyes checked.
Oh, Golden's having the trouble tonight.
Jeez.
Usually he's the first one in here.
I know. It just beats me to it. I feel like I need to get better lighting situation. Your stuff's just so good.
I try to plan it. I figured, Obi Wan blue, and I don't know. Try to change it up a little bit.
Yeah. I turned my light off once and it just was dark. I'm like, maybe not.
There he is. He's
What
in.
the-
All right. We got everybody in.
It's all Mike's fault. He beat me through the gate.
I know. I was just waiting, just sitting there.
He tricked me on the way through.
So, episode 9. We've been together for 9 episodes already.
Love it.
Crazy how quick this is flying by. I mean,
Time flies, huh?
I feel like we were just waiting for Book of Boba to come out, and that's already here and gone. And now we're on to Obi Wan Kenobi, and finally got a trailer for that. And just
right. Did we even expect this trailer to drop? Like, it came out of nowhere, right?
yeah, they sent that tweet out with just "hello there," and then everybody's like freaking out, of course. But yeah, it came out of nowhere. There's no like date or anything that kind of synced up with anything. It was just like, okay, here you go.
Wasn't there like a Disney or Lucasfilm or something? I think it was a Disney stockholder meeting or some shit like that.
I don't think has that happened yet. I don't think that happened yet.
Know.
Oh, they usually make a pretty big deal about it when they do it, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Hey, maybe they had a secret one,
Yeah, you can keep chatting. We'll
see if
I can figure out if there was or not.
Right.
But yeah, it was kind of random.
It was.
But hey, not complaining.
No,
I'll take it.
Man, the amount of stuff that was in that trailer, it was just nostalgic as all get out. Like, it was perfect to me.
So much to look forward to.
I was actually surprised that they showed as much as they did.
Well, I was talking to someone, and it's like, they showed so much, but in reality, I don't know if they really showed that much compared to what we're going to be getting. Because, I mean, that was a lot of information they put in the trailer, and I feel like what they're not showing us is going to be just nuts.
Yeah.
Right, and then when you compare it to the trailers for The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett, they really just kind of scratched the surface with these trailers. So, for as much as we did see, it's really nothing.
Well, we saw a large span, it looks like, of Obi-Wan's life after. I mean, it looks like almost like we see him the beginning of his exile, and then like towards the end, we're like, I feel like that view over Luke playing on the house, I feel like that's like probably going to be an end episode, like the big whatever's done and he's finally settling into his watchful role type of deal.
Yeah.
Which will be crazy to see. I mean,
Yeah, because he was kind of making that like last call out saying that they lost, and I mean I think that's exactly what you were just saying, is that this is the beginning of his exile. And how many episodes is this? Do we know?
Only 6.
6.
Yeah, I think they're longer episodes than the other ones. If I remember right, I remember possibly. I mean, someone will shoot me for it, but I think there was probably hour-long episodes is what I heard on a minimum.
I'm game for that.
I would
we
love
don't need
that.
30-minute.
I'm looking at this like a 6-hour movie.
Yeah.
Like I said, I know we talked a while back about like what we'd prefer over like TV shows and movies. I mean, especially if they're hour long, man, hit me up with the 6 episode hour long each TV show. That's fantastic.
So Tron X, who's directing them. So it's Deborah Chow.
Nice. That's right.
And she's got a good track record with The Mandalorian.
Right. Yeah, she's done some good. And I mean, it just felt, I mean, I don't know, like, it was goosebump worthy, like, not like in a corny whatever way, but like just the Duel of the Fate song in it, seeing Tatooine.
Yeah.
It was just like, I cannot wait. And then like his narrative, I'm hoping that's actual lines from the show because I want to know who he's talking to.
Right.
Fingers crossed it's going to be Qui-Gon. I mean, that would be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And, like,
Yeah.
having that
For sure.
like, we lost, man. Like, oh my gosh, that would just be so crazy to see. Like,
the Force Ghost of Qui-Gon.
Right.
But I'm glad you mentioned the music because John Williams did return to score the theme.
Really? I
of
didn't
the show.
hear that. He's awesome. I love
Yeah.
John Williams' work.
So I don't think he scored the show, but
Right.
at the minimum the theme.
Yeah.
So to showcase his music in the trailer is a nice kind of acknowledgement to his contributions.
Right.
And to kind of maybe tease us as to what we're going to get,
For sure.
For the theme.
For sure.
Just, I mean, the opening was great, and then, like you said, when that Duel of Fates came on, I was like, oh my god, like goosebumps for sure. And then, I mean, it just was.
It was such a punch to the face too, because like I didn't. I mean, no way was I expecting Duel of the Fates to pop up, and like just hearing that as like the intro and how I mean, it was great.
And it kind of tied it to the prequel trilogy in that regard as well. It's like he's not yet gotten over the events of the prequel trilogy, so he's still tied to it.
Yeah.
So, we finally get to see our Inquisitors live action.
Right.
And of course, everybody's hating. Always.
Of course. You cannot. Well, you thought Star Wars fans were going to be happy?
Right.
It's just, I know the ones that have the negative remarks are the loudest in the room usually. But, like, come on. I mean, they complained about Cad Bane having a weird face. I mean, now they're giving crap to Grand Inquisitor. It's like, what do you want? Like, yeah, it's not CGI. I mean, that costs a lot of money. I mean, I would rather see live action people and like puppetry and all that stuff than just CGI the whole time.
And it feels more grounded too, It feels more in line with the original trilogy, makeup, practical effects.
Well, and if I'm not mistaken, I think I'm sure we're all talking about the Grand Inquisitor. I think he was only in Rebels, right? I don't think he was ever in.
Yeah, that
was it.
And so Rebels design, that was like straight up Ralph McQuarrie concept art styling. It was not meant for practicality, actual stuff. It was very much concept art. So, I mean, to translate those people to and from, I feel like I said, it was jarring for me to see just because, like, I do expect that thin and long.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's nowhere near going to make her.
Yeah, but like
RoboCop. Right.
Does anyone remember how Yoda looked in Rebels? Remember when he showed up? Man, he looked.
Well, not even to mention just that. I mean, talk about when, if I remember right, was it Phantom Menace when they brought Yoda in as a different like puppet or something?
Oh yeah,
like a CG item or something, and it was just
the
worst.
Yeah, they originally started him out as a puppet, and he was horrifying, and they switched him to CGI.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, everybody complains and they're saying Disney has all this money and stuff to be forking out for CGI. I mean, TV shows still have a lower budget than a movie. And I mean, I don't.
And then think about it. It's 6 episodes at an hour. This is like getting a trilogy.
Right.
It's like 3 2-hour movies, right?
Right.
So come on, there's only so much money that they can put into this thing, especially if they don't know. I mean, this is a guaranteed success, no matter how bad it's gonna.
It's got
But
Obi Wan Kenobi,
still,
Ian McGregor, and I don't know if you saw today. They released shots of Hayden Christensen in the Vader suit coming out of a meditation chamber.
yeah,
Yeah.
Just the idea that these two have a high chance of going toe to toe again. Oh man, it's just there's so much awesomeness coming. I mean, it's great.
And then I mean, you got the others. I mean, you got Reva, who's a new Inquisitor.
Right.
We don't know what number of sister she is.
Right.
And then you got Sung Kang, who's playing the fifth brother.
Right.
So there's another live action. I'm interested to see how he's going to play him.
Right.
Going from, I mean, he was, for the movies, he was a great actor for Fast and Furious. I mean,
right.
I never saw any, like, terrible acting from him in anything that he's been in. So I think he'll be able to play it perfect.
Right.
Yeah, he's a charismatic guy. I think he's gonna play it well.
Right.
Spoiler alert: the fifth brother and the Grand Inquisitor will most likely not perish during this series. They have to make it to the rebels.
Right.
So that spells bad news for Reva.
Yep. Yeah, she's looking pretty badass too, though. I'm excited to see her.
Right.
And just I'm pulling a Dark Star. We're gonna not do that. But yeah, her whole hair and everything. I mean, she looks badass. I'm very excited to see what goes on with her. And Awkward said Count Dooku didn't look like he looked like in Clone Wars. I mean, where are you finding these people? What do they want people to look like?
Right.
Right.
Yeah, live action. And
Tron, you had asked too the story on the Inquisitors. That's one that I think is going to be awesome to see if they actually dive into in this series, because they've done a good job of like with Cad Bane, bringing Cad Bane into the Book of Boba Fett. There's so much backstory with him, but they were able to trickle just enough breadcrumbs in the Book of Boba Fett for you to be able to piece together, who and what he was. So I'm interested to see if they do. I mean, but to answer the question, the Inquisitors, they were essentially just Jedi hunters that the Emperor had put together that was under Darth Vader's rule. And Darth Vader just manhandled the hell out of them and just sent them out to go hunt Jedi. And the Grand Inquisitor himself, if I remember right, was one of the temple guards that had been corrupted for a while by the Emperor, and was the one who, again, people are going to shoot me if I get it wrong, but if I remember right, I think he was also the one that actually unlocked and disarmed the temple defenses to let Anakin in during 66, if I'm not mistaken. Which is there's that kind of intense duality.
Like a tie-in,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That'd be great.
But it's good you mentioned. I'm glad you mentioned that, because just to go a little deeper, the Grand Inquisitor was a former temple guard.
Right.
And some of the other Inquisitors, who's the Inquisitor? What was her designation from Fallen Order?
Trilla, second sister.
Trilla, yeah. She was a former Padawan, right? So she was actually turned.
Right. I'm wondering if we're gonna get what's her name?
Seventh sister?
No, her and Ahsoka were Barriss Offee.
Oh, Barriss.
I wonder if we're gonna. I mean, there was some time with
right?
Boba Fett and stuff like that with the little.
You could see her.
So I mean, I'd be interested to see whatever happened to her. I'm hoping she doesn't become an Inquisitor, because her vision of what the Jedi were. I mean, I didn't think she was too corrupted in the Clone Wars. I thought it was more so. She was just, granted, she did bomb the shit out of it, but I mean, she was more so just highlighting the fact that the Jedi were on all sorts of bad paths. So I'll be interested to see what they do with her. Who knows?
Yeah, she was like Qui-Gon on steroids.
Right. Yeah. Extremist Qui-Gon.
Mm-hmm.
So, as you said, from Jedi Fallen Order, you see their hideout, castle, whatever you want to call it.
Their fortress.
From
such a unique name, right? Fortress Inquisitoris. There's no mistaking who's in there, right?
Yeah.
No secret here,
Yeah.
So that was
secret hideout.
You got them at the table, and all having their meeting, and I mean, I, I'm just so excited. And you got the Grand Inquisitor with his friggin' saber just sitting there in the just. Oh my God,
I
it's
know
gonna
the
be so
spinning
good.
blade's gonna be awesome.
Well, I'm glad they incorporated the spinning saber,
You
right?
have
Like
to. You have to.
yeah,
You can't
that
pass
was
that
one
up.
of his.
I hope
And
Yeah,
all the
then
salty people out there, they have one of those helicopter moments with him. Because everyone was so salty about that in Rebels. I thought it was
oh, in
great.
Rebels, yeah, when they kind of flew away
Yeah,
with the sabers.
I'm hoping the
Oh,
Grand
jeez.
Inquisitor just like takes off in the scene and everyone loses it.
you know what's gonna happen.
Oh
They're gonna
man,
get
yeah,
torn
they really
apart.
pulled an Inspector. Yeah, they pulled an Inspector Gadget.
Right, exactly.
It's gonna be like the whole spin move thing from what's his name in Book of Boba. Was that really necessary? But
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
bringing it back to
Well, especially those that probably had never seen Rebels, they are gonna flip their wigs if they
yeah.
see that.
Right.
So, I saw everybody was wanting him to be more of the Pawan species.
Mm-hmm.
You see him in Revenge of the Sith. He's got the more narrow face and the
Right.
jacked up teeth. But back to what we were saying, like, how are you gonna? I mean, I guess they did it in Revenge of the Sith, but I don't know. I would rather see it play out and then judge it later than just see someone and then just start judging them instantly and saying this person's gonna
Yeah,
be terrible. Why can't they do this? Why can't they do that? I mean, just go with the
Well,
flow, people. Let it play
they've
out.
been doing it a lot with like the Trandoshans. Remember season 1 of the Mando? Everyone was like livid that they changed how the Trandoshans didn't look like Bosk. So
Yeah,
it's like maybe that Huang or
right.
however you pronounce it species, that was just that dude. Maybe there's like chunkier, beefier, skinnier, smaller. I mean, it's a species, so they're not all going to be like that dude.
Right.
Maybe
Yeah.
that dude did that.
I mean, look at us. We all look different,
yeah, very
right?
true. So, there's also a new droid that we saw, and he had his name that translates to Ned on his chest plate. So we don't know what kind of droid this is or anything. I mean, we have no information on a lot of these characters, so it's pretty exciting to see what's going to happen with them. I mean, we get a new planet, Dayu. It kind of gets that.
That kind of Hong Kong vibe, right?
Yeah, what's the? Oh my God, with Sylvester Stallone, the Blade Runner type feel with it. And
Right. It's kind of like that neo noirish feel, right?
Right.
yeah, and then you see Reva sitting on top of the building, which we find out is a hospital, thanks to many people that have translated that for us.
Yeah. They went absolutely crazy when you called it VT. Yeah.
I still think it's VT, and they're
Not
giving me
VT,
a
it's
shout out.
ER. You can't you read Arabes? What's wrong with
They're
you?
definitely giving me a shout out in the series for VT.
Right.
I don't know what the 7
Yeah.
means, but you know they're
Oh,
giving me
man.
a shout out. But
Right.
we found out that it means ER, so
Right.
they have the hospitals and stuff like any other city. Yeah, so you get that kind of like Tokyo, Hong Kong type like downtown feel with all the neons everywhere. It also cuts to a spot where people were talking about the alleyway where Reva was at, and people were like, "This is Han Solo. Han Solo's in this." It's not even his blaster.
No.
No.
If you look at
Yeah,
it, it's not his blaster. When I saw
Right.
that, I'm like, "How are you thinking that this is Han Solo if you know?" But I don't know. So then you get Uncle Owen. We get to see him as well.
Right. I'm glad they brought back the original
Right.
actor, at least from the
Yes.
prequel trilogy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now what's the
And apparently on Peru as well is the same actress.
Nice.
Yeah, I feel like they would have to do that. I mean, you can't just have the one. Yeah. So, at the end of the title, when it shows you the title, you also hear Vader breathing.
Right.
Which I didn't catch the first time because I think I was just still so like
Still
crazy of like just
Right.
trying to rub out the goosebumps and all that
the
stuff.
sound of my heartbeat drowned it out.
Yeah.
Right.
But this is going to be such a great series. I mean, I don't see how they could, how anybody could. I mean, people are going to find a way to complain, just like everything we were talking about.
Of course, of course.
There's so
I
many
hope we see
lightsabers. I mean,
I hope we see the Vespa gang in the Hong Kong streets, man. They would fit perfectly in the Hong Kong streets.
yeah, definitely. Bunny rockets. So this is what us nerds call, or this is what us nerds call
Ready to yes.
and house letters. Yep.
Yes, pretty much.
This is what gets us off.
Right.
Yeah, right. So
Talk all revenge to me.
What's your overall take on this? Like, what are you the most excited to look forward to, or what are you looking forward to in this series? Go for it, Golden.
I think for me, it's just seeing the evolution of the characters. It's not even so much about the action. It's about seeing Ewan getting back into that role. And I mean, he made Obi-Wan, his role, and to follow in the footsteps of such a great actor with Alec Guinness, right? And to now take over a role and really make it yours and still pay tribute to the performance that came before. I'm really looking forward just to see him back in those shoes and just being Obi-Wan again, just seeing where it takes him.
He is Obi-Wan.
And
like, there's no other.
He is Obi-Wan.
Nobody else can play Obi-Wan.
Yeah. I mean, I was super excited to see Luke, a young Luke, but I'm really just looking forward to seeing Obi-Wan, man, do his thing.
Do you think he was doing pod racing, or do you think he was just flying a ship?
I think he was flying a ship.
Yeah. I mean, that's what he's always wanted to do. So, I mean,
that's what he's always, yeah.
What about you, Mando? What are you most excited about?
Man, I'm going to go dark on this. I'm excited to see Obi-Wan's absolute suffering in this. So, like, the Obi-Wan book that came out, like, back in 2013, the thing that stood out to me the most was the absolute sacrifice that as a kid, obviously it's like, oh, yay, lightsabers and, I don't know, cool stuff, But, like, the absolute sacrifice that Obi-Wan has made his entire life for not just the Jedi, but for Skywalkers. Like, he's given up any sort of trying to bring the order back. He's given up any sort of commitment really to the light side of the Force. He's done everything solely to succeed with Anakin or Luke now. And I mean, even in the old book, like, he kind of gets like a love interest and whatever, but he ends up like having to like let, people do them because he realizes, like what the Inquisitor says in the show, Jedi, they essentially, I don't remember what the exact verbiage was, but they leave a trail of hope and good stuff, fuzzy bunnies and all that jazz. And yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that Obi-Wan realizes in that book, that like he can't be a Jedi anymore. He can't go save people. He can't, be that diplomat. He has to be just the old hermit who's crusty and just watches this family, and that's it. I mean, even in the comics, he's Owen like goes out and like bitches him out about like being too friendly with Luke. So like you're gonna see this guy that like is, just so defeated, but you're gonna see like the sacrifice that he makes, and I think that's gonna be the epitome of that show, is how much he's given, which to me is just mind blowing to see. I think that'll be great.
So that quote was, what he says is, the key to hunting Jedi is patience. Jedi cannot help what they are. Their compassion leaves a trail. The Jedi code is like an itch they cannot help. They cannot help it.
Right.
So,
and Obi-Wan's going to have to let go of all of that in order to stay hidden, which is like, oh my God, like seeing how good of a person he was. I mean, he was like the Jedi type of thing, and like, to have to disregard all of that, it's going to be wild to watch. I mean,
I'm just excited to see all the lightsaber action, and it's, like you mentioned earlier, especially with Vader and Obi-Wan just dueling it out. I mean, it's going to be It's not gonna be your New Hope classic like Bing Bing. It's gonna be your
Yeah.
yeah. It's gonna be an all-out war, and I hope we get to see that super dark side of Vader that we kind of sort of got to
Well,
see at the end of Rogue One, or like in the comics Vader Down, or any of those like that. I mean, where he's just destroying everybody. So I'm
yeah.
excited.
Yeah, I think. Well, even Hayden says you're gonna see a really powerful version of Vader. So,
Well,
I mean,
this is like top anger for him. Like this is like
yeah,
fresh out the
yeah, he's pissed.
Fresh.
lava.
He's
I mean,
pissed.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's gonna be so good. I'm so excited.
I mean,
And
a training scene with the Inquisitors would be amazing because they had that one comment where like he was training one of them and just like cut their arm off on purpose and was like, "Now you know what it feels like to lose a limb," and like that was the lesson. Like, no, like protect yourself or do anything. It was like, I'm chopping limbs off, and if you lose a limb, deal with it, type of deal. Like,
Right? Look at me.
right,
Hell,
exactly. Like, I think that's going to be absolutely nuts to see a Vader like that. I mean, whew.
and then
well, I mean, the Inquisitors absolutely fear
exactly.
Vader. I mean, look at the Grand Inquisitor. You know, spoiler alert for those who haven't seen Rebels, but
Right.
you know, he's gonna make Obi. He's gonna survive the Kenobi show, but he's not gonna survive Rebels.
Right.
And he would much rather throw himself into a river of lava than to go back to Vader.
Right.
You know, defeated. So yeah, these guys absolutely fear. Remember Trilla
Yeah,
when
Jedi Fallen Order. I mean,
God.
he takes care of his own Inquisitors. He doesn't have to have anybody else come. He'll just take care of
Right.
himself. But
and she was a badass herself.
she was.
You
Right.
She was. So, and then you had who killed the fifth brother? He's he
Maul.
doesn't make. What is it?
Maul, I
Maul
believe.
killed him.
Yeah, I think so.
So there's some more spoilers for you. I mean, they may make it through this, and then they're gonna get killed in Rebels. So sorry about that, guys.
Right.
Yeah. Buddy Rocket says, just like baseball, there's no crying on the dark side.
Right, exactly.
Pretty much.
He's the Tom Hanks of the dark side.
Right. Well, there was a scene in the comics too that like one of the Inquisitors like saved a child because they were like sent to like kill it, and like Vader took that as an offense and killed the Inquisitor. So it's like there is no sympathy for these guys, so it's gonna be nuts.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he has no problem killing younglings, of course. I mean, we've seen that many times.
Yeah.
Of any species.
Right.
So, yeah. So we know the fifth brother, and we know that the
Hi, buddy.
Grand Inquisitor survived, but we don't know about Reva. I mean,
Right.
she's not in Rebels or anything. She's a new character, so
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Kenobi needs somebody to kill because he's not going to kill Vader. He's not going to kill the Grand Inquisitor or the fifth brother. So
Right.
yeah, so she's going to get taken out for sure. You got to at least get somebody.
Right.
yeah.
You know. Yeah. Somebody's got to buy.
Well, like the whole trailer was, I mean, nothing to do with him lighting his lightsaber up. So I mean, to me, like, there's gonna be that scene before Vader where like Vader gets called to deal with something, and I think that's gonna be just. And I saw someone else commenting about how like he beat Anakin, who was like #1 type deal, and so the hope is that there's not this like ridiculous struggle of Obi-Wan really struggling through a fight, that it's this you really see Obi-Wan's true power against some random Inquisitor where he just like starts butchering. I mean, that would be pretty good too.
Yeah.
So, do you think? Now, I'm not sure if the timeline stuff, but do you think like Maul or somebody like that could make an appearance in this?
I don't think Maul will, because he, spoilers, ends up on Tatooine for the first time with Kenobi later on. So Maul would be
and that's
cool.
because he used Ezra.
Right. So Maul would be
Yeah.
cool. I mean, we may see him as a antagonist with the Inquisitors, because they had that scene in Rebels where he does square off with them. They call him the Shadow. So I'm kind of hoping that Obi-Wan or not, but at some point we see why they're that kind of frightened about the Shadow, Because it couldn't be just like back room, like, hey, did you hear about this horn dude going around cutting people up? Like, it can't be just some random stuff. Like, it's got to be like legit worries of the Inquisitors type of deal.
Right.
But I don't think we'd see Maul in this unless it's in that form.
Yeah, but Ray Park has actually been teasing a lot of.
That's why that one makes me question it, because
Ooh.
I've seen a lot of things from him, and I'm like, is he hinting
Yeah.
something, or what's going on here? So
Yeah, and while the show was in production, he even posted a picture of him in makeup, in Maul makeup.
But
so
it'd be too old, though. They would have to get somebody else, right?
Well, they could probably DH it a little bit or something.
True.
Here's the big question: has he cut his hair recently?
Well, no, not really,
that's like
because
his telltale for filming it. He always buzzes his hair. Because of that.
Right. But actually, the age kind of matches up, because this show is 10 years after Revenge of the Sith, and Maul,
and it might be
actually counters. Right, this is around the Solo time, and Maul actually has his final confrontation with Obi Wan. I think it's what is it, 4 years before A New Hope?
I think it's right around there, 6 to 4 years.
Right? So that's only a couple more years after the events of this show. So, and Ben was already, he was portrayed as older Ben.
Right.
So that 4 years must have aged the hell out of you.
Well, there's that theory that Tatooine's just kicking people's asses and taking names. I mean, you look at Bubba.
Yeah, right.
Bubba
the twin sons, right?
Different ages. I mean, but you see them. I mean, it's just I don't know. I feel like Tatooine.
They're
right. It's that two sons concept. I think those two sons really just destroy people. Bad for your skin, guys.
They don't.
Yeah. The sunblock. Sunblock.
So I mean, I would lose it.
But I do have a feeling we're gonna see Maul somewhere. I'm hoping it's not on Tatooine, because it wouldn't make sense to the story.
I mean, it could be that end scene, because after what do you call it? After the scene in Rebels, you see Obi-Wan wander over to watch over a young Luke running across the field. So I mean, that could be something we see. Maybe, I mean, I doubt they would do that fight again in live action, but there could be some sort of, beginning of it, and then we see the end of it in Rebels or something. I don't know. But who knows? Yeah. That would be awesome. I will not complain about seeing a live action Maul.
Yeah.
No, bring him on.
Right.
Like I'm hoping we see him in some way. I just hope it doesn't.
Maybe flashbacks again or something. I don't. Something.
Ooh, that's a good point, because wasn't there some press about Ahsoka coming in for like a flashback scene, and
yeah, true.
And didn't Ewan say that he actually filmed scenes with Hayden as Anakin?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So maybe to your point, Mike, we'll get a DH version of each character. And
man, talk about
that would be cool.
A Vader. I mean, I would love to see. I don't know if we talked about it on another podcast or if it was just spitballing at one point. I would love to see a Clone Wars Anakin get up in live action.
Yeah,
that armor.
Yeah, the armor, right?
Awesome.
That the Clone Wars armor.
Kenobi too. His armor.
Right.
Holy
shit. They have that. What was it? That Mythos statue from Gentle Giants of his, where he's got that backpack with the clone armor that he has in it.
Right.
So that would be cool to see, like, even a teaser. Like I said, that backpack, that would be awesome. I mean, anything with that would be cool. There's just so much with the show that, like, I don't know. I am obviously a Bubba addict, but, like, I think I'm almost more excited for this Obi-Wan than I was for the Book of Boba Fett. Just because I think there's so much that's going to come out of this Obi-Wan show.
Yeah.
So
Tron says that he hopes they keep Robert Rodriguez far away from the series.
But he also asked, what do you think the timeline is with life on Mandalore?
Oh man, they are so screwed.
I think this is like literally that time frame where they're getting like bombed to shit in like Civil War.
Yeah,
This is right
they're
after
right.
Empire. I mean, the Empire. I mean, if you want to dive into like the military politics of Star Wars, I mean, Mandalore was like one of the biggest threats they had to them. I mean, lightsaber resistant, blaster resistant armor. That was a huge, acquisition. So I mean, I'm willing to bet that that was pretty quickly there. So I mean, yeah. Maybe we'll get some Mandalorians since Obi-Wan had some love interest with that stuff going on. I mean, who knows?
Maybe some flashbacks of all that.
Right. Flashback in him in Mandalorian armor.
Oh,
Let's do it.
Yeah, right. Oh man, yeah, right.
Right.
jeez.
That would be awesome. I'm telling you, any flashback at this point would be awesome.
So we gotta wait until May 25th, which is 2+ months away.
That'll
And like spoil a bunch of stuff. And I'm gonna try to. Try to avoid this trailers instead of like watching the Book of Boba ones. I think I'm gonna try to avoid it a little bit, just so it doesn't take away anything. I mean, the teaser trailer was.
But knowing these guys, they're probably not gonna give us enough to really, get spoiled on anything anyway.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, and let's not forget. I don't know if anyone noticed, but there was. Was that a clone trooper? They showed
I saw someone mention that.
Right.
Of course, all of a sudden I'm googling stormtrooper ass to see what.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Is up. Yeah. This is gonna be weird to explain.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be part of the flashbacks. I mean, maybe we'll see a Commander Cody. Maybe we'll see.
Well, so I turned my brightness on my phone up, and the pouches look blue. At least that was kind of what I picked up. The pouches look a little bluish.
So maybe a Rex?
I know I heard someone say either Rex or Cody was what they were hoping for. But the pouches, there was like a back pouch, and it looked a little bit blue, so I don't know.
Damn, a live-action Rex. Oh, my God.
I mean, they've already got Tamara Morrison on the payroll.
And they've got a Ahsoka show coming up. I mean...
Yeah.
That guy is...
And he's not that good. He's not that good at keeping secrets because he's actually been talking about being open to playing clones in future. So he might have been jumping ahead.
I mean, he could be in everything. He's gonna be in Ahsoka. He's gonna be in possibly Obi-Wan. I mean, all these films and TV shows. The guy's making bank.
Man, it would be awesome to see to see Ahsoka and Rex going to do whatever they're doing. I mean, that would be kind of a cool little like intro into Ahsoka type of deal since that's coming up. That like you see like something with Rex or I don't know. I would
old man Rex.
Right.
Yeah.
Little white beard. Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think I would prefer Cody. Just because that little drama there, because Cody and Obi-Wan had that like bond to see like
right
hunting him down in like a yellow version stormtrooper armor would be just oh my god.
Oh man, that would and that'd be a nice kind of roundabout way to finish Cody's story arc, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it kind of redeemed him because if I remember right, again, I'm going to get shot if it's wrong, but anyway, I could have sworn that Cody ended up being like a stormtrooper training commander or something like that after they transitioned. So, I mean, that would be cool to see him have like a good role in like hunting down Obi-Wan. I mean, that's a personal thing for him. And he was commander of the army. So, I mean, I feel like he could have some pull to be like, if there's whispers of Obi-Wan, he's there to help command the troop response.
Right. And Rex would have been hiding out anyway on that planet with the other two clones, right?
Yeah.
And in the Bad Batch, they hinted pretty heavily at like a clone resistance defection, whatever, where he was talking about like saving people, going on missions with Fulcrum and stuff like that. So, I mean, that'd be interesting to see. I mean, even a Cody redemption arc where because him and Cody were like BFFs. I'd be a little sad if Rex never went to find Cody and help him out. I mean, that would be kind of shitty, but I mean, it is what it is. Anyway, Obi-Wan kills him. I don't care. I just want to see some sort of drama between them.
Yeah, finish the story, you know?
Right.
That's what's good about these series, that they just keep tying everything together. And,
Right.
I mean, there's talks of sequel series just come out. So, I mean, they're going to tie in a bunch of stuff with that, too. And that's what I'm excited, too, is that people are always complaining about, well, we don't know who this person is, or we don't know who that person is. We don't get a backstory on this person. This makes no sense. We're just throwing all this information, and we're expected to read a book to get it. But now we're getting these series that are tying everything together. And people are still bitching about it and complaining about how characters look and all this other stuff, or the acting's terrible, but it's still tying together the whole story. I'm here for it. I don't care.
Right.
I don't care what the people are going to look like. I mean, of course, if somebody else was playing Obi-Wan, I would definitely not probably. I mean, I would still watch it. I'd definitely bitch about it. But it's just let it play out. Like, part of me wants them to stop making Star Wars stuff just to shut these people up. But that's what they want, because then they would complain about something else. But it's like every time there's something that gets.
Isn't that why George Lucas sold it in the first place?
Yeah,
it's like he got tired of all
the people that are complaining are the ones that are thinking that George Lucas was God, and I mean, he is in Star Wars world, but like they think he was just the almighty of this, and then he was getting trashed on too, and that's why he sold it.
So I would too. Shit, you don't like it? Screw you, man. I make my billions.
Yeah, I don't know.
Every time someone complains, like you said, I get the same feeling that like someone should just like shut it down real quick, lose a show over it. That way people stop bitching about it. But at the same time, like I said, I'm along for the ride, man. I'll pay whatever to get more. It's a straight up addiction at this point. I'm all for it.
And you're only hurting the people that like actually like it, because I mean, a lot of these people are just trolls that come on there and just try to like fuel fires and whatever.
That's all it is. But that's all.
You'd just be hurting the true fans. But I was talking to a guy at work a couple of days ago. He just got there and he goes, "Oh, I see your Star Wars tattoos." He's like, first question I always get, "Did you get that before the sequels came out?" I'm like, "No, I got it after." Why? He's like, "Oh, you still like Star Wars after the sequels?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I show him my Dark Side Rey one, and he's like, "Oh." He's like, "Why do you like that? Leia floating through space and this, that?" And I'm like, "Dude, it's Star Wars." I'm like, Boba Fett went flying like for no reason and hit a barge. You got Han Solo,
talk about
nobody
Obi-Wan
like
dissolving into nothing, like when he gets hit by Vader. Like, there's a million things you can poke fun at.
Why pick apart every little thing? Just go with it. Laugh about it. And say, I wouldn't do that.
Complain. I always, because it is funny, like the spinning thing. If you look at like how many times Bubba and Din spun in that final battle scene. But no one complained about that. They only complained about this one dude spinning. And then it's like, everyone's complaining about it. But it's like, remember when little teddy bears threw sticks at stormtroopers and killed them with armor on? Like, that happened. That was like a 2-hour episode there where like they were throwing rocks at them and like one-shot kill. Like, that was it. Like, but yet, we got to complain about someone using the Force, which is completely unexplained, to float through space. Like, it's like, come on.
And I think it tied into Leia's abilities. She was always a Force sensitive. She always used the Force in an instinctual way. She never focused on using it. It just came out of her. Yep. So in that moment, it saved her. It protected her. And drew her back in. Did it look a little hokey? Sure, it looked a little hokey, but I was blown away. I thought that was going to be the moment in the film when they killed her off.
Right.
So for her to actually survive it was like, wow, that was mind blowing.
Right. I always loved that though, pulling up, and it was Luke, not Han, when he kicks and he doesn't even hit the guy on the sail of the skiff, It's like,
Yeah.
here's your great acting you like. Like, there it is. Like, what? Pick that apart. Like, stupid little thing. But they just like to hear themselves, I think. And I think it's such a trend just to hate everything for Star Wars right now.
Yeah.
But
Right.
good
It's got to
attitude.
be the cool crowd who
BT7.
only loved the original series, you know?
Yeah.
Like, come on, just enjoy it all.
Ron's never
I
gonna
mean, even as corny as the what was the Resistance show that came out? Resistance, I think. Was it called Resistance?
Yeah.
Even as
Yeah,
corny
that's
as
what
that
it's
was, I still watched it. I was like,
Yeah.
hey, this is
Yeah.
a cool little avenue, and it had some cool things to
I
it.
said this before. It's great. It gave us a canon golden stormtrooper.
Right, I got yours right there. Exactly. Like, to me, it's like,
Yeah.
come on, like, that's awesome. Like,
Hey.
why not?
Hey, everyone should watch
Yeah.
it.
Right.
Just for the golden stormtrooper.
If it's not for you, then just move on. Like, there's people that do like it. I mean,
Right.
I don't know. We'll see how this plays.
And don't forget, Star Wars is made for kids. We're all big kids at heart, obviously. We grew up with it. We all have our different connections, right? Different eras. But yeah, it still doesn't change the fact that this is children's fare, right? So, there has to be a little suspension of belief, right?
So Josh
you got-
Harper sent in a question. He said, not sure why, but my comments are turned off, so I can't do that. So the reason why you're not seeing your comments is you have to be following, and we have it set to follower only comments is the reason why. Chris is out doing something. He was busy tonight, so that's why he is not here. What else is he saying? VT7, we already covered that. We already covered my shout out. My shout out.
Right, and while you're on Tron, you never stole the spinning lightsaber. On our last shows, you were given the homework assignment to go watch the whole Clone Wars series, right? So now your new homework assignment is to go watch the whole Rebel series, all right? And you will see the spinning lightsaber. I guarantee it. So you've got from now until May 25th to watch the whole Rebel series.
I mean, you could definitely complete that. I mean, that's a lot easier than watching the whole Clone Wars series, which, I mean, you still need to do if you haven't seen it, but Rebels definitely. And I'm gonna
we're gonna quiz you. We're gonna quiz you one day, Tron.
Right. Rebels, I mean, and Rebels was great. I know people crapped on the designs and stuff, but I love the McQuarrie design to it. I thought that was just such an awesome nod to see, like, the stormtroopers and the hairless Wookiee and stuff. I mean, I loved it. It was great.
Yeah, the hairless Wookiees kind of creep me out.
Yeah. But
it's kind of like the Wookiees in Solo. Remember the Wookiee that Chewbacca was kissing?
Right.
Man, she looked terrible, man. Chewie, you could do better than that. Wow.
But Rebels also gets really dark too. I mean, just like Clone Wars, but they say it's kid shows, but I don't know if that's
right. It's like they pitch it. It's like they pitch it to Disney, right? That way. But then after they get past the first season, boom, everybody's getting freaking chopped in half.
Exactly. So
yeah, like I that's one thing I loved with the Mandalorian's first season. The first 5 minutes, someone gets cut in half. And I'm like, this is amazing. Like, I loved it as a kid, and I'm loving it as an adult. Like, first 5 minutes, someone's getting cut in half by a door. Like, come on. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And it's good to finally see that because as a kid, growing up, them freaking doors frightened me, man. Right. I remember seeing A New Hope, and when they're on the Death Star, and they've already taken the stormtrooper uniforms, and then that freaking door closes behind them. Yeah. Oh, like, oh shit!
Right.
You have no time.
Do not get your foot caught in there.
Right.
So it's about time we saw somebody get chopped in half.
Right.
And that was one of the ones that like kind of curled together, which was
those were even worse.
Right.
Didn't Han Solo jump through one of those? Oh no, he jumped through one that was closing like.
Right. I just love to hear the body hit the ground afterwards too. Like it's just so emphasized. This dude is in two pieces now. Like he's no longer one.
All right, so Tron's asking a question. We're gonna have to try to interpret this. Will Nihilus appear? I spelled it wrong. That mask behind Mando who reads head.
No,
Not,
he's
no,
super
that's
old.
No,
old.
that's Old Republic.
Right. I mean, that would be awesome, but yeah, no, definitely super old Republic, and not even
Yeah,
canon anymore, if I'm not mistaken. So, probably not, since he was
yeah,
like one of the most OP'd Sith Lords out there. He like 8 planets. So I mean, I doubt they
yeah,
throw that up against Vader. He's a hungry guy.
yeah, yeah. He's the Galactus of
See,
Star Wars.
just like that, though. So many people like that character,
Right.
but he swallows planets and stuff. Like how
Right.
you're gonna knock somebody floating through space using the Force,
Right.
Right.
but you're
Well,
gonna
then in the same game, you've got what was her name? The mentor you have, the old lady, Kreia.
Hmm.
She fights with 3 lightsabers without holding one of them and just using the Force to like
Yeah, they
spin 'em
just kind of
around.
spin around her, right?
Yeah, and then we're complaining about someone doing a flashy spin move to like pot shot someone, like there's so much craziness in Legends that like it gets so overlooked. Like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
just wild to see the craziness that's usually in Legends. They made for great stories because they're crazy, but I mean, it's great.
So, Boisterous gave sent a question. He said, we're going to throw it back to Book of Boba. We covered this in a previous episode, but we'll touch up on it real quick. It's thoughts on Cad Bane being killed off. What do you think? I think it was perfect.
Go ahead, go for it. What were your thoughts?
I think he's old. So, I mean, I think it killed him off perfect with having Boba being the one to kill him. And after being bullied for so many years by him, I mean, he finally got his revenge. And, yeah, I mean, I loved it. I thought it was a perfect ending for him. I mean, I don't think that he could just ride off to the sunset and, like, he's what? How old was he? Like, it was some...
Yeah, he's like 74
So what else is...
during this,
I mean,
and his species is not supposed to live beyond 70, so he's already pushing it.
yeah, so
Right.
I think it was great.
Yeah.
What's your take?
But with the whole blinking light thing, I'm pretty sure they're leaving a back door
Yeah,
open.
just
That's
in
all they're
case.
doing.
Just in...
Yeah, just in case. They can leave him be, let him go out to pasture, or they can bring him back.
Yeah.
I think they just left the door open. But like I agree with you, BT. He had his story arc. He had his time to shine, and this was a good way to kind of put an end to his story. It kind of like how Rebels ended Maul's story. You cannot leave these characters with an open-ended destiny. It's nice to bring them back, even if it's for one episode, and just finish their story off a little bit.
Yeah.
Right. Well, then on top of it, I mean, to top onto that, it's not even that they finished it. It's they gave him an ending. They can still build a hell of a lot more stuff in between. I mean, look at Bubba. I mean, they didn't even touch on, what he did, between Clone Wars and Empire Strikes Back. So, I mean, that's all stuff that can be 100% built in. I think the way that they killed him off, I think that was great. I mean, I didn't have any problem with it. They definitely showed how awesome he was, especially like we talked about in that episode, how they showed how fast Cobb Vanth was at quick draw, and then how fast he was, and then Bubba went toe to toe with him, and Bubba got his ass handed to him. So it wasn't like they had a stray sniper shot that took him out, and he just it was much more of like a legit duel that he won, and then Bubba rose above and finished him.
And it wasn't so much a gun. He went back
exactly.
All the fighting skills he learned from the Tuskens that got him to finally beat him. So,
yeah, no, I think the ending for him was great. I didn't have any issue with it, and like I said, it leaves it still open, especially with him being introduced in Bad Batch. I feel like that definitely left room for there's an end point for his story, but there's still a huge chunk of the middle to tap into. Plus, even the beginning. I mean, they mentioned that if I'm not mistaken, they mentioned that Jango Fett trained him. So, I mean, there's a whole arc for more Morrison and Cad Bane stories to go down. I mean, there's so much you can add with him.
We're going to see a lot of his face around, I have a feeling.
He hit that perfect casting button when he got cast as Jango.
Yeah, really.
Like, you're just forever a clone.
Yeah.
It's great.
So since we were talking about Bad Batch got delayed a little bit, right?
Yeah, that's what
How
I
far
heard.
back did it get pushed?
I don't know if did they release an actual date for it?
I don't think they released like a new date.
Okay.
No.
So everything's getting pushed back. Hopefully a lot of the other stuff doesn't, but
yeah.
So
I'm sad with that. I was looking forward to Bad Batch. I really like that storyline. I'm a big fan of the Clone Commandos and all of that. So I absolutely love that they brought that into it. So that'll be great. I was really hoping for that season 2. But they did bring a lot of like Thrawn references into that last episode. So I'm wondering if they're waiting for maybe Ahsoka series to come out before they do anything. Oops, I just hit my goddamn thing. Bumped my knee lifting it up. I know. No, I'm wondering if they'll wait till after. Now my knee hurts. Good God. I'm wondering if they'll wait till after Ahsoka to bring it, since they did tease Mount Tantis or shoot me later on pronunciation, as well as the cloning facility. I mean, that'd be interesting to see what they're going with it. I mean, that'd be great.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
I mean, the guy had the same outfit as the Doctor in the Mandalorian, right? So all of this ties together.
Yeah. Filling in all those spaces that everybody complained about.
Just hoping we don't get one of them Joris Kaboth guys in it. That one was another weird thing from Legends. I'd rather not have a Joris Kaboth.
Oh, yeah, right.
Or a Luke. That's who we use.
So, Ahmed
yeah.
Daniel Logan to play young live action Boba.
That'd be great.
I'm not sold on that. I don't.
I'm kind of.
I think it would have to be helmet on and just a nod to him being Boba.
It's
I don't know.
Weird though with how I mean, I know he really wants to be like Boba now in the armor and stuff, but like when he was photoshopping his face over top of it to remember Morrison's, and I'm like, dude, that's a little much. Like, come on, I know you want to do it, and I know other people do it, but it's like you may have your time. Just give. I don't know. It's just.
I think seeing him as like a 13-13 Boba Fett wouldn't be bad.
Right, like a young adult kind of.
Speaking of Cad Bane, maybe some sort of like in between Clone Wars, whatever rivalry that they got going on with him being younger. But there is so much difference between Daniel Logan's looks and Tamora Morrison when we know him as Jango.
They actually used 3 different actors,
right,
to play the age ranges, right?
Right.
So Daniel Logan was the youngest, and then I forget the name of the actor who he's mostly shown like when they're all having lunch or something, right?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
When they're looking over at each other, it's like that middle aged, and then you get full blown clone Tamora,
right?
I gotta look that up.
I remember looking it up a while back because I was watching the Clone Wars as like an older adult, and I remember being like, "Who the hell is that?" Like I always just thought it was Tamora Morrison. Just blew my mind noticing that.
I just don't think like you said, it would have to be him in armor and only armor because his facial features don't match up to Boba. I mean, even
just a voice. I mean, because he's the voice of a young Boba Fett. So, I mean, that would be fine too.
Yeah,
Bodhi Taylor.
Right. The most grumpy looking clone.
Yeah, like he was looking over, like, are you gonna eat that piece of bread?
Right.
Well, we're at the hour mark. You guys got anything else you want to share or anything for this week? Any closing statements, comments?
I'm just
happy
excited.
to be Yeah. Right.
We all got blindsided by that trailer. I mean,
right.
As soon as I saw that tweet go out, I was like, oh my God. Like, even then, I didn't think that we were going to get a trailer.
Right.
And I instantly, when I saw the trailer drop, I had to watch it like 5 times. And then, I mean, you're going to miss stuff the first go around, but Yeah, that.
I'll admit, I was one of the guys when I watched it like the first time. I was like, "No goddamn way, that's Han Solo!" Like I had to rewind it. Like that looks like a blaster.
When it first walked up, yeah, I was like, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
It had that big ass Han Solo scope thing hanging around. I'm like, good God, they put Solo in there.
What was it actually a DL-44?
No, the muzzle on it is definitely different.
Right.
Different. Right?
It's a little bit longer, narrower. I mean, it's a little different. Maybe it's Cad Bane's. Let's start that rumor going on. Might as well.
Yeah, right, man. Yeah.
Back from the dead in the past.
Back from the dead in the past. But yeah, I mean, and just hearing Duel of Fates, I mean, I could still watch the trailer and get goosebumps from it. I mean, that's like just so nostalgic from episode 1. So
dude, I as a kid seeing Phantom Menace in theaters, I loved the Duel of the Fates song so much that, and this is going to be super nerdy, I learned how to play the piano for a little bit so I could play that song on it because I loved that song.
nothing wrong with that.
No, nothing at all. No priorities there. And I bought a tape, because in tape era, of that, like the Phantom Menace soundtrack, so I could play it on my boombox in my room. Like, this is the coolest thing. I absolutely love this song.
So you're saying on the next show you're gonna play Duel of the Fates?
Hey, if I had a piano, I don't know if I could still remember how to play it. But I swear to God, I like bought like this sheet music and like learned.
We're gonna start a GoFundMe just to buy you a piano.
Right?
I want to hear you play it on a recorder, like one of those ones you got from like elementary school. I want to hear that.
Dude, so
you got a recorder?
No, so part of my bando kit, I got the a Best Bev that I made.
Learn it
like
on that.
Flute.
Yeah.
I can't play it obviously, but I mean I'll learn. That's what I'll learn for it. That'll
You have
me to learn.
you have 6 days till next episode.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
Done. I'm gonna find a YouTube recording of someone playing it on a flute, and I'm gonna act like I do it and just hit play.
There you go.
Yeah, just play it.
Right.
So there was some news that Chris gave us, since he couldn't be here tonight, about the Lego Star Wars. Apparently there's a bunch of DLCs that you can get for it, which you can get Mando and Grogu.
Right.
You can get Ahsoka, Solo, obviously. You can get classic characters like Luke Skywalker, Leia, Han, Vader, Lando. There's a trooper pack with all the troopers, a Rogue One pack, and you got your Bad Batch pack. So those are some exciting things to look forward to. Oh, and then Star Wars Celebration got announced. So that's, I mean, the ticket's already out and gone, but whoever got tickets for that, congratulations. And
they're still honoring last year's.
Yeah, if you had tickets, they're still there, but they just had a select few of people that sold them off. It's the Lego Star Wars saga. It's every episode they're putting it all in one game.
Yeah.
So
that's gonna be a blast.
The thing
well, and they've redone it because those Lego games were always like very specific type of gameplay, but they've redone it to be almost like a third and first person shooter type of deal. I mean, it's pretty good.
Right.
And then you switch between characters as you're playing too to do different abilities, right?
I think so too, and they also said they added a feature where you can, which I think is just so funny, where you could switch to mumble mode, where like the characters don't talk; they just make like Lego mumble noises. Instead, I just think that is so
what is a Lego mumble?
It's literally they just like like they just make like mumble noises, but you can play the entire saga in mumble mode. So like you can watch like the one that they advertise is the "I'm your father," but he's like, it's so goddamn stupid, but I love it that it's put in there. Again, something that'll make someone salty, but I think it's great.
Mando said it's very open world now too, so that's pretty
right. Yeah, they were showing that like while you're doing the missions, there will be points where you can just like pause the mission and go. But he's like, it's so goddamn stupid, but.
I was trying to play the mumble mode.
I was wondering what that was. I was like,
it didn't work. It started replaying our audio.
Noises. That's the mode. These are noises.
They were kicking into a metal concert.
The open world's supposed to be pretty cool. Like you can just kind of break away and like go explore worlds, and it's like the whole galaxy. Like they showed a map of like all the plates that they have, and like it's just all of these planets. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Ox says, "What the fuck was that?" That was aliens talking to us. Special.
Yeah. I'm trying to find a mumble mode clip, and it just didn't work out.
But yeah, so back to the Star Wars Celebration thing. I'm pretty sure the tickets already got released, but on here he said the 11th, which is tomorrow, at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then I guess you have to have proof of vaccination to go, or a swab 24 hours prior. And then masks, no matter what, are required for everybody. So that's pretty much that. I mean, it kind of sucks that you have to wear a mask when you're vaccinated, but I mean, it's obviously they're taking precautions. Good for them. If you don't like it, don't go. So,
Right.
and they make the rules whatever they want to do. I mean, you're living in their world, so start your own convention if you don't want to go. But I wish I could go, but it's right in the same week as MegaCon. If anybody that's watching is going to MegaCon, let's go.
All right. I'm tempted. I'm really, really, really tempted.
Yeah, Darkstar better be getting me a souvenir or something. He needs to get us all souvenirs since he's going to be
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm expecting a keychain or something for sure out of that.
Right.
But yeah, so that's our Darkstar news tonight. He can't be here, but he'll be here in the next couple weeks. And yeah, so you guys got anything else? Any closing statements or anything?
No, I think
We pretty much covered
I think
everything.
it's nice. It's nice that I mean, you know, this trailer dropped out of nowhere, so
Right.
you know, the show pretty much got you know, consumed by the trailer talk. But it was great. It was great that we got that. You know, it was so unexpected.
Yeah.
Which is awesome because it's like a 2-minute trailer and we spent an hour essentially talking about it, which
Exactly.
I love.
Yeah.
Like that is
Exactly.
perfect there.
Great.
Mhm.
So, all right. Well, we'll wrap this show up because we're at the hour mark, and we'll try to keep it somewhere around an hour every week. I feel like 2 hours, something, unless we're in like a really juicy topic, we'll keep going. But
Mhm.
yeah, so we're doing this every Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be doing it through Instagram, and then we upload it onto YouTube, and then we also take the audio and put it onto Apple Podcast. I'm trying to work on figuring out a way to get it onto all podcast streaming services. I don't know how that all works. Still trying to figure everything out. But yeah, if you have any of those, like and subscribe to us. It helps. Leave a rating. You can find Golden Trooper on Instagram, Golden Trooper, and then you got Mando Who Reads. And we'll be back here next Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night, everybody.
Appreciate it.
Peace.
See ya.